Okay, so moving plants under subprime conditions. It's the middle of summer, it's the end of July. Things are fruiting. I pulled seeds off of these goats root here. Got sweet fern, state endangered plant that was obtained through legal means, permission from the property owner. I want to move these right now. I need to get this out. I need to get screenings in here. I need to make this weird garden where I've added sand into this big hole, and I'm moving the whole thing to other places because the soil is almost as valuable as the plants that are in it. How do you do that? And this really speaks to how you plant plants at any point in time. Maybe there's a place that you aren't going to be able to get back to water, and people get real scared because they bought a whole thing about cutting things back. I always cut everything back when I plant it. It does something to the plant. It says, hey, you've been grazed. Once you invest in your roots for a second, soak up some more water, stabilize yourself, and then we'll start to grow. It's even worse if there's a flower on a young plant. So say you get it from the nursery, you've got flowers on that plant, and really you've reduced that organism to its sexual reproduction. Alright? It's a young plant. We don't want teenagers reproducing. Why? Because they don't have resources. Right? Same is true for plants. So I'm going to give you a nice violent example here. So I've got this sweet fern. There. Just cut it off. No harm done because it's all about the roots that are below the ground here. I can still identify it. Here's another one. Okay, so this root is coming out. I just ripped it out of the ground. This is what's important. There you go. I'm going to set that in my bin over here to be planted somewhere else. I may even cut it back all the way when I get there. All this go through. I want to be able to see that that's what it is when I'm pulling those roots up, because I want to get this dewberry out of here, for example. But you got this long stem right here, and we flipped it back. Here's some more sweet fern. Get out of my way. Okay, and that's the whole deal right there. All this smooth aster got itself too big. I've even trimmed it back twice before. Slow it down. I want to cut it back to the point where I can still identify it. But I'm going to literally tear this stuff out of the ground. Okay? To move the soil. Trying to get two different types. I've got two different types here. I've got a topsoil where a lot of the organisms are. I have this underlying soil, and that's what I'm going to be setting up in that box. I'm going to keep my topsoil there. I'm going to put actually I'm going to switch those since there's going to be less of the top soil for that A horizon. And I'm going to take all this B, put it in here. And that'll go underneath. I've got some A falling off in here. We're going to use proper terms. Got all these roots. And I'm digging a cavern up underneath. Why? Because there's a ton of roots in there holding it all together. Now I'm going to come in here. I don't want the prairie rose. Shake that off. Pull it out. Throw it out. Got some go through right here. Pull that whole thing out of there. Got too much biomass on top. We'll pinch those off to make sure I can see. It's all about this root though. This is what's important, not this. This part you see. This is what actually matters. nodulation on there. Whatever, distraction right now. Okay. Get Daddy out of here. Another one. Already been trimmed back. I'll probably trim it back some more. Storage. These are going to get planted in a little bit. You could. That one's really in there. Alright, you can see how rough I am with everything. Okay, got all those roots. This is going to be dehydrated, so we don't want it to dehydrate. I can still identify it. Cut back that far. Now, I could put this in some of the soil. Say I'm not going to go put this in. Okay? And what you can do is just plant this back in here. Put a little mulch over the top, water it in, and it can stabilize in one of these bins for a short period of time. You put some holes in the side of it, you can stabilize it like this for a long period of time. You may not want to plant these until later. So if you're moving plants, this is the deal. This is why I love natives that co-evolved with bison. They're into it. They don't care. As long as you protect those roots and keep them from drying out, you're good to go. They've put a lot of above ground mass in right now, so this is the worst time to move them. It's way better to do it first thing, after they started to senesce in the fall or first thing in the spring. There's also better environmental conditions to move them during the spring. That's honestly the best time. They get watered in by normal climatic signals. But you can do it right now. So hopefully that's helpful. I can just take a lawnmower over this right now. It doesn't matter. They don't care. They really don't care. Alright, hopefully that helps. For my next trick, I'll show you digging them up out of my patio with a tent spike. Sometimes I even go into the cracks and just rip them out by hand. They're into it.